Travel is an integral part of our life, be it personal or work. One has to manage everything from end to end. This crisis put a hold on all of our travel, and now, since everything is coming back on track, it has changed the way we travel, and it has also changed the way we plan our travel. I'm Abid Hassan, Senior Assistant Editor, ETHR World, and I welcome all of you to ITILITE's Top Drawer Travel Talks Season 2, Episode 2. Today we'll discuss the digital aspect of travel post-COVID, managing work and travel, etc. Before we go ahead, I want to thank all the viewers for taking out time and joining us for this exclusive fireside chat. And without any delay, please join me in welcoming today's host, Ashish Kishore, Advisor ITILITE. Ashish is a transformational leader with proven track record of building businesses from scratch. He has expertise in leveraging technological innovations and solve specific customer problems. He holds MBA in tourism and a PG diploma in computer application and worked with some of the finest companies across the globe, such as Emirates, American Express, Make My Trip, to name a few. Welcome, Ashish. Welcome on board.
Thank you, Abid.
Thank you so much, Ashish, for joining us. And I'll not take much of your time. I pass over the frame to you. The frame is all yours. You're the host now. Thank you.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you, Abid, for that lovely introduction. And of course, our regular viewers of TDTT would not have required any introduction. This is our second session this year, and of course, season 2. I'm really excited because, of course, the environment has changed completely all around us. Travel is full on. It is back with the bang. All hotels, airlines, transport, everything is going full. So it's a very different environment from where the first session of TDT started last year. And of course, that's a full journey that we've gone through. As the environment has changed, we've realized that the care has taken a center stage in the post-COVID work world. The needle is moving closer to designing personal experiences for employees at every touch point, may that be their personal travel or their professional travel. The approach to care, however, this is for everyone to note, is shifting from earlier one-size-fit-all sort of approach to a more proactive process. The employee expectation is very different, and they expect the same on their business travel as well. And travel, we all know, is an integral part of the overall process. But today's organizations, in this completely different environment of so-called revenge travel and revenge business travel, which is happening, it is the responsibility of organizations to mitigate all emotions around travel and make sure that the manual processes are replaced with tech-enabled automated platform. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining me today. Today, what we're going to discuss is the best practices in the business travel, where we benchmark care and support in the workplace. And to discuss that with us, our guest today is very special. He has been a change manager and turnaround specialist with excellence in client relationship management. He's highly skilled at simultaneously leading various projects with multidimensional field, focusing on innovation, resource optimization, and most important, operational efficiency. He has a deep experience in long-term strategy planning and implementing innovative ideas, and recipient of some multiple awards in innovation and cost excellence. And I'm talking about none other than a close friend and a fellow colleague, Hitesh Buddhapati. He's the branch manager for Noida and Gurgaon Times Group. I welcome Hitesh to join me. Hitesh, welcome to our show.
Thanks, Ashish. Thank you so much for the kind words. A very good afternoon to all of you. I'm quite excited to be here, and I'm looking forward to an engaging discussion today.
Excellent. So Hitesh, before we sort of start, it'll be a good idea for audience to get to know you a bit more. So might as well take a couple of minutes to learn more about yourself.
Sure. Thanks, Ashish. Well, I have been with the BCCL for about 14 years now. I manage the corporate travel, and this allows me to implement the industry best practices to BCCL's travel vertical. I'm also part of the corporate strategy and cost excellence for the hospitality and support function. I have over 25 years of experience in diverse industries like media, telecom, and FMCG in both the corporate sales and retail sales, along with a bit of marketing. On the personal front, I live in Delhi, where I moved about 4 years ago. And prior to this, I have spent about 2 decades in Gujarat.
Oh, Gujarat to Delhi. That's quite a change.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, it's a big change for me as well. And apart from this, on the personal front, I'm a pet lover. And I own a golden retriever with whom we love traveling, and I had amazing adventures together. And I'm excited to be here and contribute my experiences and views with you, Ashish.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Lovely to hear that we share the common love for pets. So I used to have a golden, not retriever, but a Labrador. And of course, he's no more. But it became part of our family. So I totally, relate to you on that. So let's begin our session. Let's deep dive immediately on what we wanted to talk about today. So Hitesh, as the world is changing and we're seeing new evolution of business travel, how's business travel space evolving especially in this new hybrid workplace world? What's you seeing? What are the trends?
Well, Ashish, you covered a bit of it in your introductory message, but I'd like to elaborate a bit on that. As we are all aware, the pandemic has brought the future of work into our everyday lives much faster than we expected. Things like remote teams, flexible work options, work from anywhere, they have now become accepted norms. A lot of employees have moved to their hometowns, and jobs have become location agnostic. With the reducing infections, opening up of the offices, lowering of travel restrictions, and of course the improved vaccination, the travel, especially the corporate travel, is slowly but gradually growing. Apart from this reason, the other reasons are that competition and growth imperatives for organizations is fueling corporate travel growth. It's been almost 2 years since the personal connect has been lost or missed with potential customers.
Right.
And hence corporates would like to get back to that to regain that lost advantage in a short period of time. So the core businesses or the core functions like manufacturing, agriculture, marketing, etc., they are actually growing faster, whereas the non-core functions are still evaluating whether to look at the offline meetings or online meetings could be continued.
Are the organizations, open for their staff to travel for sales connect and connections with the client? Is that the view that they have?
So, Ashish, there's a mixed view over here. In the pandemic, and most of the corporates, as far as the sales or distribution culture is concerned, they feel that the personal connect cannot be replaced with the online connect. Like we saw during the pandemic, especially during the second wave and the third wave, the customers were not willing to meet the salespeople because they were struggling with their own challenges, and they were quite cautious about the infections being passed on to themselves and their family members. Those things have now reduced. Especially the Omicron wave has shown that infections can be controlled at homes and people get well in a shorter period of time. And hence, to an extent, the travel has started. I can speak about our organization. I can speak about a few other organizations where I know that slowly but gradually, a controlled travel growth is allowed. And wherever necessary, the not so important or not so core functions are also taking up travel. But there are still few challenges because of during the pandemic. Though organizations believe that corporate travel is going to be essential for business growth, but in the pandemic, they also realized that there's a lot of savings which have come or accrued because of the pandemic pause, so as to say. And they wish to ensure that some of this is retained on a sustainable basis. At the same time, the travel costs have gone up. Airlines, hotels, cabs, for various reasons, the costs have also gone up. So the corporates are quite conscious about these travel costs. The other thing that we also need to look at is wherever travel has started, especially corporate travel, the expectations of the travelers has also changed from what it was during the pre-pandemic. There's a change in the behavior. A lot of employees are working remotely, and their expectation is that duty of care should be extended to where they are working from currently.
Oh, okay.
Secondly, employees are looking at simplification or improvement in the travel policies and looking at more customization of the processes. So today, the challenge is that while corporate travel will grow, and how much we don't know, but the cost is going to be a very important factor. And apart from this, because of the employee or the traveler's expectations, agility, flexibility, adaptability are going to be the core success factors in corporate travel. And I feel all of this is possible through digitization of travel.
Absolutely. So if I summarize what you just mentioned, the all old problems or the all genies are now out of the bottle fully. So you have a cost problem where saving needs to be done. You have service issues because, of course, expectation levels are very different. And you have renewed, policies that needs to be implemented now, because earlier policies were all based on the office location and then to or fro from that location. Now it's just suddenly open for everyone to travel from anywhere. So how do you know if that travel is actually official or not? Is this optimized or not? And things like that. Okay, fair enough. So good take on that, Hitesh, and I will sort of take your cue and asking the second question. As you said that technology is an enabler, and we all know in industry that you have been the, sort of a first mover, early adopter of self-booking tools in the market. 10 years or so, have you been running it for about a decade, right?
That's right.
Right. So a decade mature travel program is what you're running, which is fully digitalized, and you still have challenges.
Absolutely.
Right. So that would be a brilliant takeaway now for all of our viewers, that what sort of trends you're witnessing or the challenges you're facing on the digital side of the business now.
So I'll go one step back, if you permit me, Ashish, of the adoption which happened and the challenges or the journey that we went through. And as you rightly mentioned, it's been over a decade now, and we were one of the early adapters of technology. Prior to that, our travel desk used to be operating in a traditional manner. We had a few people deployed there, and all travel requirements, be it airlines, guest house, hotels, train, cabs, etc., everything was routed through the travel desk after approval by the managers. So there were a lot of challenges there. We didn't have a complete visibility of travel. We didn't have real-time information. And the turnaround time used to be sometimes very high when the pressure and the volumes were exceptionally high.
Correct.
So this was one of the key drivers to move into a self-booking tool. And we have moved the entire self-booking tool or the entire travel to the self-booking tool. Right from the airlines to the guest house inventory, hotels, bus, cabs, trains is now on the portal. We have eliminated the travel desk completely for domestic travel. There is no manual intervention required for an employee for domestic travel whatsoever, except the 2 to 5% cases which require exception management.
Correct.
the journey was not easy because there are usual difficulties in adoption, internal resistance, process adherence, and overall change management. So it took us a good 3 to 6 months to fully implement in its true form. And what we did was we went module by module to get the users accustomed to various modules and then migrated them. There's some amazing benefits that we found from this move. Our turnaround time reduced by more than 75%.
Awesome.
Reduction in travel desk resource by 80%. Reduction in overall travel cost because of the reduction in travel time or the turnaround time was to the tune of about 15 to 20%. I would like to explain this. Pre-digitization, after the approval, it used to take about 2 to 3 hours for the travel desk to revert with options and close it.
Correct.
Whereas now, it can be done in anything between 15 to 20 minutes by the traveler himself. We had better visibility through the analytics. We knew what are the department-wise expenditures, what are the missed savings, which are the cities that employees generally frequent, out-of-policy bookings, and so on and so forth. We have moved to complete GST compliance on the bookings, and all of this led to an improved ESS score during our surveys. And the most important part of this was, as a management change that we found, was empowering the employees to decide on travel and making a robust and employee-friendly policy to guide them through this entire journey. I think a lot of organizations may have moved to digital medium, but however, 100% empowerment to employees is still missing.
Right.
So we found that to be the great change. But we have over a period of time reviewed the existing arrangement with our travel service provider, with the self-booking tool. We look at what are the new options which are coming in, and we constantly evolve and adapt to those things to be ahead of the curve.
Excellent. That's wonderful numbers that you put on table. And 15% of travel spend is a very good job. Absolutely. It's a dream story for a self-booking tool promoting organization. So yeah, absolutely nice. Just out of curiosity from this. So if you've achieved this level of maturity and then COVID sort of impacted us, and if you are now, so what are the current digital elements that you're looking for? Well, what do you want to change? What do you want to digitalize? The domestic process is all done. 2-5% is the exception that you're talking about. But what else are you looking for? You're looking for better UI, experience, or there's much more deeper stuff here?
So Ashish, I would again go back to the expectation of our employees or the corporate traveler. And I think all the corporates need to focus on the employee expectation and delivering to their requirements. So what are the changes which are happening? And we want to adapt to systems and processes and technologies which fall in line with the expectation in the current scenario.
Right.
So if you look at how the travel is evolving and what are the changes in the process or improvements in the travel process that employees are expecting, we are finding that most of the travel has now become intentional or comes with a purpose. And employees who are traveling, they have a very planned schedule where they are able to cover up more than they would generally do in the pre-COVID days. Because they also know that multiple travels are not really good and there are chances of catching infection, which can have a secondary effect on their families.
So single travel, longer duration, more planned in advance.
More planned in advance. And then there are expectations like they prefer better hotels, which assure delivery in terms of hygiene and safety, better cabs, flexibility in the check-in and check-out, like early check-ins, check-outs, cancellations, or rescheduling of trips. and also personalized experiences based on safety and comfort. So what the employees are seeking today, or the corporate traveler, I believe in most organizations are seeking, would be customization to their needs and a simple travel portal which could meet their requirements end to end without them having to look at multiple means, without them having to really pick up the phone and check with their colleagues which hotel to stay in, or how far is the hotel, which cabs to take. So end-to-end travel solution with customization is what the traveler is expecting.
So we're looking at more intuitive technology. We're saying now that if as a traveler, I'm picking up a TOI's mobile app, then I should be told that if I'm going to Bombay, then this is the 3 recommended hotels in this area. People have stayed, they have rated. Is that something that we're looking for? More
yes,
intuitive.
And much more than that, Ashish. What a traveler is looking at is when he looks at selecting a trip, he would be looking at options to be thrown by the system, which focus on only few options based on his past consumption. Which airline he goes by, or which airline he takes, what are the general timings that he travels in, so that instead of throwing all the options, he only has few options to choose from. If he's going to a particular city, which hotels does he stay in? How far is the hotel from your office or your other work areas, etc., etc. And I think
a retail shopping experience.
Yes, absolutely. And also to add to this, Ashish, to make this possible in the future, the corporates will have to look at exploring the best options available and reinvent on a regular basis. Also, the key players in the ecosystem, in the travel ecosystem, like be it airlines or hotels or OTAs, TMCs, etc., they will have to also collaborate. And this is a fragmented industry, and it needs all of them to come together to be able to address or meet the requirements of these employees. By leveraging real-time data, planning, ensuring the traveler's comfort and transparency are going to be key drivers of the success in corporate travel.
So that is a big tech to ask, which is give me my retail experience of, say, any of the Amazon or Zomato or Swiggy. Just show me what I had last evening or the last week, and then let me choose for my preference. I should still have the option of changing, but the system should automatically know that what I'm trying to crave today. That's an interesting ask.
It's going to be sort of that the travel tool should become personalized for every single employee in the corporate, because everyone's needs are different.
Yeah. Personalization. So this has been, just to sort of add for our viewers, this has been a dream for the travel industry for a very long time. And the entire ecosystem, as Hitesh mentioned, have been working on this. The NDC program by major airlines around the world is largely to bring personalization and the display of better content to user. Because personalization will only happen when you have the full content with you. So the entire work around the hotel content and hotel industry, NDC on the aviation side, is built around to ensure that the content comes together, basis which this whole personalization would take place. And yeah, excellent. But I think we're still a bit off from that place. But we'll work in that direction. So good expectation setting for the whole industry. Thank you, Hitesh.
Sure. I believe that AI and technology has a huge role to play in making this possible. Let alone looking at the past trends, giving you customized options. I believe one more thing that is possible in the future is predictive assist for our travelers. So let's say, for example, I'm a frequent traveler. I travel every month, or I travel every alternate month. After using this tool, the tool should understand my requirements and say the tool knows that I travel to Delhi every December. So in October, it should give me an alert that you travel in December. These are the days you can look at. And this is your preferred hotel. And there's a special deal on this particular day if you book your travel. I've not thought of the dates. The tool throws out options to not only help me plan my travel in advance, but also get the best deal possible. So
I wish we work in that direction, but I'm sure there are a couple of organizations working on this. I have known about an integration with your calendar, where based on your calendar meetings, the travel options are thrown out.
Right.
But still, it's not really caught on so very well. But people have thought to at least start taking the cue from the calendars, because it's more about the business travel. Okay. What else do you want AI to do for you? Well, how should the AI and the tech-driven travel systems help? And largely from the cost and the efficiency point of view.
So, see, from the cost and efficiency point, once customization happens and once personalization happens, like for example, an employee traveling to Bombay and he gets an option of a hotel, which is say 3 to 4 kilometers from his workplace. He can actually book it. He can save on the cab cost. He can improve his productivity. Similarly, also what can happen is the cabs which are used, especially say, for example, for routine drops. There is geotagging, geofencing, which can happen to ensure that routine trips are in line with the requirement of the corporate and there's no deviation from it, thereby saving costs or controlling costs. Budget management is something that is already available, and I'm sure there's a lot of insights of the past experiences that can be used to build it even better. And apart from this, strategic insights for improving the employee experience and saving on costs based on the past trends. I think this is what AI and technology will assist in the current and near future.
Excellent. So yeah, lovely guidance and thoughts. So Hitesh, what do you have for our viewers in terms of, like every time we promise that we'll deliver some key takeaways to our viewers, which they can actually go out and start implementing in their organizations. So what would you like to sort of give as a takeaway to our viewers?
Well, I believe there are 4 things that I would like to share.
Right.
One is that due to the increase in employee expectation or traveler expectations, business travel is emerging more as a service function rather than admin function. You need to meet the requirements and fulfill them to the best possible, either through your existing tools or by providing new tools. The digital tools will be a necessity for business travel. It will not be an option. And not only the adoption of digital technology, but even enhancement on a regular basis is going to be required to spur business travel and also optimize business travel to a great degree. The corporates will basically, they have their hands full actually. And I think they are the biggest challenge actually. They'll need to prioritize end-to-end travel solutions. They'll have to empower the employees to decide on their travel. They'll have to, focus on policies which will improve the agility, flexibility, and adaptability, which we have already covered in detail. So I'm not going too much in detail now. And they'll also need to have a visibility on the travel trends, not only on the trends, but insights for the future. And of course, last but not the least, and I think this is going to be the most interesting space that I'll keep my eyes on, is the use of AI and technology in hyper customization and predictive assist to travelers. Every traveler would want the travel bot or the travel tool to be customized to his own requirement. And of course, security and prioritization. Security from the point of view of the safety and comfort of the traveler, confidentiality, and prioritization in terms of immediate automatic response to travel requirements. So these are the 4 takeaways from my side, Ashish. Over to you.
Oh, that's excellent. I think that covers a lot in terms of what everyone's focus should be in the next 12 months. Because, of course, predictive assist is a lot around technology, security, and compliance. I think the real work around flexible and the agile policy has to start now. If people have not started, they are already late in that whole game, because I know organizations which have already changed their policy into agile policy, which means tomorrow if some pandemic happens or they can't go to a particular country, so the whole policy, instead of being rigid into, in its old form, is now no longer that rigid. So there is a lot of agility that I can stop and start travel. I can allow people to go to a particular country or stop there. And of course, allow them to do longer travel or better quality hotel. So suddenly those elements have started coming in. But I also sensed in your conversation that there is this tinge of travel budget control which has slowly started to creep in, which wasn't there earlier, because tab wo kharcha nahi ho raha tha, so everybody was okay. But now, as the expense is increasing, there is this whole tinge. Am I right on that? So bit of focus there.
Absolutely, because when there was no travel, one could see the savings. So,
correct.
So every corporate, I'm sure, is looking at control growth, and in the near future, even when hopefully business travel comes back to normal, they will still, due to change in policies, implementation of digital tools and technology, still have a reduction in the costs.
So that would be the expectation.
Yes.
Perfect. Excellent. Hey, thank you very much, Hitesh. Let's, hi, Abid. Do you want to come back and
Yes, thank you so much, Hitesh, and thank you so much, Ashish, for a lovely conversation. We were following closely, about the travel part, because we all need to travel. People have already started traveling. The first question is from Bhuvneshwar Chaudhary. It's more of a comment than a question. So, Hitesh, Bhuvneshwar is saying rates should also be as per the entitlements of our company based on our city rating. So what do you have to say about it?
I believe to rephrase Bhuvneshwar's question, what he's trying to mention is that the entitlement, the per diem, should be in line with the city limits or the city levels for different hotels, the rates for different hotels. So I think that is one challenge which the corporates will have, and they will have to really relook at how they're going to ensure safe travel for employees at optimal costs. So either they could improve or increase the per diem after a survey of the various markets, or they could have hotel tie-ups to ensure that the per diem is maintained. So I hope that answers Bhuvneshwar's question.
Okay, but there's a bit of tricky piece here, because currently most of the cities are running very high occupancy.
Correct.
So, and not honoring corporate static rate contracts at all, saying sorry, like Bombay, classic example, IPL is happening. They're just saying no to pick up my rate of the day and then do whatever you want. And that place, Abid and Hitesh, probably that's what the viewer's question is. The per diem won't work. If somebody has to travel, then he has to travel, and that amount of money has to be spent.
Okay. So next question is, we all talk about challenges in the road ahead. When it comes to corporate travel, would you like to share some of the key challenges that you see, Hitesh, in the coming years, and how tech can solve these problems?
So, Abid, we have spoken about some of these challenges during our discussion. Yes. And still to cover a couple of points, and then maybe Ashish also can add to it. I believe the challenge would be the customization of travel requirements, because every employee will have their own travel requirements which will need to be fulfilled by the organizations. Apart from that, the challenges in terms of increase in costs of be it airlines, hotels, cabs is going to be another challenge that corporates face. Even if the volumes go up to pre-COVID levels, the cost will be much more because of these reasons. Another challenge would be for corporates to basically fine-tune or adapt technology tool which can ensure not only a better employee experience, but also save on costs. And I think both these things are going to be very important. One is meeting the employee expectations, which are changing. And secondly, managing the costs. Ashish, would you like to add something more to this?
Sure, yeah. I would love to. The points that you mentioned is absolutely right. In addition to that, actually, you're going to see the impact of that in these three challenges is the broken supply chain. For the last 2 years, very few hotels have been added. The existing hotels have not been serviced that well because the planes have been grounded. The planes are going to come back into service. The fares are not filed. So the well-oiled machinery that was running pre-pandemic just got installed for 2 years. That ecosystems, that whole supply chain issue is what is being seen in the front today. Like hotels not available, rooms not coming right. You reach to a hotel, you find that the particular service standard is not being met because a lot of people have been furloughed or asked to leave. Now they're rehiring those people. So there are many different aspects on the supplier side of the business. And I think it's going to take at least 12 to 18 months where some kind of stability comes on board. Now in that place with the huge employee expectation on corporate on one side, expectation that I should be given a safe hotel, whereas the hotel himself has not been in action for last 2 years. That imbalance needs to be managed. Whose fault it would be if the room is not clean? Hotel would say this is what it is. So that has to be managed very, very consciously, and that's where the agile policy would come in play. Having a very active I'm listening to you sort of travel policy is very important. People who will get the travel policy and then the underlying technology right will sort of get a grip on this whole corporate travel piece.
Thank you, Ashish. Thank you for adding your thoughts as well. I have one more question from Rahul. Rahul is asking, what should be the hotel rate policy of companies that is allowed for employees? The question says,
can you elaborate? Hotel rate policy.
Yeah.
Hotel.
So the question says hotel rate policy of company allowed for employees. Yeah, hotel.
Can I take that, Ashish? Let me attempt. So I think, like Ashish already mentioned in the last, to answering to the last question, that when we have hotel tie-ups, when corporates have hotel tie-ups, static rates, special rates, there are very, very high likelihood of it getting dishonored. And that is one thing that corporates have to be wary of. Dynamic rates may work better. And if we have to look at rates or tie-ups, if at all, it should be with larger chains, where there's a likelihood of them assuring services and delivering on the commitments more than not so well-known chains. So my suggestion would be that I don't think there could be a policy on rates, but we'll have to work around your requirements and see if there are any specific trends that you can foresee and plan accordingly.
Absolutely right, Hitesh. Just adding to your statement, corporates can have a policy, but they should also have time and space to shift that policy. If that 5,000-7,000 rupee rate cap is not being met in the city of a quality hotel, then very quickly move and change the policy. That authority should be available with everyone. If you can empower employee, nothing like it. But if you can't, then at least have a person who can very quickly double check and say, "Okay, sir, for these 3 travels, I'm permitting higher, room cost." You can't have rigid policies right now. And that goes for the airlines also, not only for hotels.
Correct.
Cabs, just see the way fuel prices are rising. Cab vendors are finding it very hard to maintain the same prices. So they will come back demanding for more price every 2 weeks. So the policy has to be very agile right now. Exception management is what is needed.
If you can share 3 tech trends that will drive corporate travel in 2023 to 2025. 3 tech trends.
Hitesh,
You both can take
yours. No, Hitesh can take. He was the best at it.
So while we have already discussed it, but I will repeat for the benefit of everyone. I think 3 tech trends. One will be digitization of travel. Second, I would say would be the moving from desktops to mobiles and having an end-to-end solution. And I believe the third one would be use of artificial intelligence in meeting some requirements and also predictive assist, which will help in the future. As I mentioned, every traveler today or in the near future will look at the travel tool as a personal assistant for travel, looking at hassle-free travel. And, we never know, but we would, in the next few years, there's a possibility that we may have a travel tool with voice assist. We just speak to it and it does the rest, including your bookings. So it's part of a wish list, Ashish. and I don't see, that. I see that happening maybe sooner than later.
It should come. I'm sure. That's a great wish list, but that's definitely bang on the right direction.
So next time, if you have to book tickets, you'll just say, Alexa, book my ticket to Bombay or New Delhi. I think, and that will be done, right?
Yes,
that's what we are aiming for.
Yes.
So I think on that note, that's a positive note. We'll end the discussion. It was wonderful hosting both of you. And thank you so much, Ashish, for a wonderful host and having this conversation very smoothly, seamlessly. And thank you, Hitesh, for sharing your thoughts, for sharing your experiences, how technology will help, what AI can do, what were the challenges, what are the road ahead. And thank you, participants. Thank you so much for asking questions. Thank you so much for taking out time and asking questions and attending this session. Hope to attend some more sessions in the coming future and booking tickets over voice messages. I think that's
Thank you.
You had a wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Bye. Take care. Bye. Thank you.